Hello and welcome to the Super Bunny Hop Super Sad Poverty streams, where I can be in sad and be feeling poverty, so you don't have to. I just want to point out that my favorite part of that intro video that I just played for all us when we were waiting is when all the Japanese comedians are looking at the footage of fire ramen, and you hear all the tourists going, "Oh, you can kind of sort of hear me in the background with my monotone ass low pitch going, "Oh." You'll just have to wait a week to see it again before you can really confirm or deny whether or not anything I'm saying could be possibly true. But the fact of the matter does stand that I did spend hours upon hours in an editing program looking at that stupid bullshit over half a decade ago, and can probably pick apart the audio layers better than most people can. We're poverty, yeah, kinda. I mean, it's not as bad as it was before, but I got a lot of money from GoFundMe. Most of it got spent on lawyers, but the amount that I have left over for myself is, I mean, it's better than I used to, but I don't think it might qualify for the actual poverty statistic stuff, but it's not exactly great either. Work is slow lately. Yeah, kinda. I had a lot of family issues and condo business cropping up in the past week, and wanted to take things slow on the stream for a bit. I was really salty last time I streamed. I streamed the Resident Evil 2 remake with a mod that makes the final boss, with a mod that makes the camera angles like the classic versions, and it made the final boss incredibly difficult. So I was very salty. I was a salty piss baby, and am returning to the world of streaming after getting over my saltiness with yes, this beautiful classic. I really hope. Okay, okay, are we good? Are we good? Are we actually capturing it? Yeah, I see. I see it's in OBS. Okay, but I ruined the mood. Hang on, we gotta pause it again because the intro. Oh my god, Eddie, come here. Eddie, come here. I'm not talking to anyone at the door. Come here. I'm sorry. I have to go check on them. That he's barking because one at the door. So we'll do this kick-ass intro. Eddie, come here. Actually, yeah, there he is. We'll do this kick-ass intro in a few seconds after I calm my baby boy down. Hello, baby boy. Good. Eddie, why did you bark? Why did you bark as if someone was at the door? You know that I like to stream on my computer Mondays and Fridays from 7:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., give or take a few minutes, depending on how the weekly schedule is doing with Metal Gear Mondays and Free Stream Fridays, which you can join in at twitch.tv/SuperBunnyHop. I wasn't talking to anyone at the door. I was just talking to the weirdos on the internet. But anyways, Eddie, everyone's got to check out this kick-ass Sega CD intro. Don't look at my face. Just don't lick my face. You're allowed to look at my face all you want. You're allowed to. I know where that tongue's been. I take you for walks. I see what you lick. Well, I don't know if I want those kinds of germs, but I do want that kind of attention. You're such a sweet boy. Everyone loves you. Every time you walk past a lady on the sidewalk, they're like, "Oh my god, what a cute dog that you have," and you're like, "Yeah, yeah." All right. So we're gonna press the reset button, and then we're gonna press the pause button, and then we're gonna press the full screen button all at the same time because the simulator I'm using is a little weird. Here we go. I hope we're all ready to enjoy this powerful intro. Oh no. The timing couldn't be worse. So wait, shouldn't there be another cash register in a minute? Yeah, but how come the quality and like technology level of the music is a little notch behind the times? That intro music is wonderful, and then it suddenly cuts off out of nowhere. It ruined the mood. Oh, it's okay though. Let's see what donation message that I got. Now that I am minutes past. There it is! Comedically delayed timing on the duplicate follow-up. For some reason my computer. Oh, hey, for $5 I'm talking Happy New Year as much as it can be. Hopefully it'll be better. It will be, it will be. The super sad poverty streams are not even really that sad anymore. The poverty comes and goes, but the sadness has been continue. Okay, we press start. The sadness has been on the down low for a considerable shit, man, like 8-week stretch. Why did I say that like Otto the bus driver from... Anyways, we want to press quit button to begin. We might want to lower volume. Yeah, we might want to lower volume because I actually raised volume in sound mixer just now. Realized why I had it lower. So okay, now let's try to recall the plot of Snatcher so that I can refresh myself to where we left off and what we are doing here. And I also would really like it if the emulator didn't pause the music when I tab out. So hang on, hold that thought. Options. Audio. Oh. Emulator. Where's option to disable pause on focus? Oh well. Oh well. I'll try to do it without tabbing out. Okay, so in 1995, what was it? Was it 95 or 98? Because those two numbers are very like different moods. And in 1998, everything was all extreme and edgy, and in 1995, everything still likes to have fun. So, and how can you tell if the game video is lagging really bad though? Because it's just like static JPEG with a little bit of it flickering. In 1995, something like COVID happens, where a weaponized virus is being unleashed. A weapon virus that the Soviet Russians were working on slipped out of the lab at some point during the collapse of the Soviet Union and infected and killed millions upon millions of people worldwide, and it was a horrible disaster that radically changed daily life and the political situation of the world. Which destabilizes and depopulates Eastern Europe. And most of the world's major powers fight a surprisingly civilized World War III over relatively unpopulated swaths of wasteland in Eastern Europe, right? Okay, so in the course of that time, the cyberpunk future has space travel and space exploration going well. I think we got a Mars base going on while all the game's taking place on the cyberpunk Earth. Wait a second. I think a good description, dystopia, I don't think fits the word here, because this is a cyberpunk world and it's a cyberpunk setting, but it is not dystopic. Whoa, sorry, Eddie. I didn't mean to surprise you while you were sitting in my lap relaxing. I accidentally woke you up while trying to remember the plot of Snatcher. So in 1995, the worst thing that happens in this timeline is an epidemic plague that kills bajillions of people. And I guess that's weirdly fortunate, because it doesn't mean it has to be as complicated as a war, which turns out to be relatively simple. The Soviet Union lasts a few years longer than it does. The Japanese government decides that it actually is going to welcome foreigners by the millions now, and opens up like an enclave city specifically for foreigners. And it's Neo Kobe City, like from Akira, the manga Akira. Um, yeah, Brazilians, they they open the floodgates to Brazilians, but it's really the massive amounts of Chinese immigration that seems to raise their eyebrows the most. Yeah, there's a new city in Japan that's built up for foreigners who want to move to Japan, and it's a bustling cyberpunk metropolis of of economic productivity. There's a bit of commentary about the social inequality going on. Apparently, there's a class of people who live off the grid and don't like having government IDs and signing up for government services and being registered into government data. And the government is like surprisingly permissive about a lot of this. There's a black market in the taxi industry where automated driverless taxis were like mandated by law for a decade or so, but now manually driven taxis with human drivers are becoming popular again, but as a black market thing. But since it's so popular, the government is deciding to just legalize it. Is that how it works? I guess I'm sure a lot of us would love it if that's how it works. But in the cyberpunk topia, it's not a dystopia and it's not a utopia. It's just a topia. It seems like a somewhat functioning society with some flaws, but is still actually weirdly like standing as an aspirational, idyllic example of how a society should be running compared to what we gotta deal with in real life. Yeah, in the cyberpunk dystopia, there's some real stupid rules that are causing some stupid bullshit, but it seems like the government knows and is trying to do something about it. So one problem that that actually fits that description are the Snatchers. Body Snatcher Terminators, who are kind of sort of also like the alien from The Thing appeared 5 years before the game takes place, which I think means 2040s. I'm trying to remember if the game takes place in the late 2040s or in the early 2050s, or maybe it takes place in like 2049 and a half. I think they lived and survived through the 2020s. It sounds like the 1990s were the worst decade to live through in this cyberpunk timeline. But the cyberpunk topia that they have ended up in is a moderately functioning civilization of complicated bureaucracies that actually seem to be getting the job done and actually seem to be frustratingly slowly responding to popular demands. Yeah, there is a sort of mechanism of popular demand meeting popular consent. I don't know how much overthinking Kojima might have been given to this sort of situation back in the days, but I think one thing that might have accidentally happened here is that this game has not felt very dystopic as far as the cyberpunk stuff goes. It's definitely not a cyber utopia. It's not a cyberpunk utopia. That would be nice. My beer's extra foamy tonight. But it's not the cyberpunk utopia that a lot of us thought we might have been heading to in the 90s, and it's not the cyberpunk dystopia that a lot of sci-fi authors thought we were heading to in the 80s. And it's not the cyberpunk dystopia that we really did end up having to live through in the futuristic 2020s. It's just a cyberpunk topia. It's a cyberpunk topia. It's a big, complicated city with complicated groups that have complicated problems. Some of those problems are working themselves out, some of them aren't. The Snatcher problem is wild. So, at some point 5 years before the game begins, super strong, advanced robot people show up on planet Earth all of a sudden, and they start assassinating, like, not super wealthy people, but like upper middle to lower upper class people. Like, I don't know, six-figure salarymen. Not like presidents and CEOs and world leaders, but like powerful manager type classes of people. They have robot magic, techno magic. What do you call that stuff in fiction? Pseudoscience. They have pseudoscientific robot magic that allows them to look like people and sweat like people. But if you like shoot them or stab them or something, there's going to be robot guts inside. Like the Terminator from the Terminator movies. They're Terminators. But they're called Snatchers, like from the Body Snatcher movies. And maybe I should watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers tonight, Eddie, because I never actually saw. You want to see Invasion of the Body Snatchers? I never actually saw Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I never saw Blade Runner 2049. Do you want to watch Blade Runner 2049? Oh, God, you... Why? I guess that means Body Snatchers. When I said Blade Runner, Eddie decided to cough right in my face while my mouth was open, and I hope I didn't breathe it in. It might have been at the inhale of my syllable. Okay, so 5 years before the game takes place in the turn of the 2040s to 2050s, Snatcher robot assassin people start appearing. They're not interested in living harmoniously, I think. I don't even know if I've read something in the lore that says an attempt was made, but I think the whole, like, assassinating people and stealing their identities means that peaceful coexistence with the Snatchers is not currently possible, and it's fine because they shot first. But I'm sure that some plot twist is going to come out that's going to make things more complicated. Okay, so our hero and his wife are both people who very normal, real human beings who have a normal amnesia problem where they don't remember their past. I think the story says that the guy was a soldier in the World War III, and he is getting these shitty security jobs where he has to use authority and violence against people. The woman, oh God, what was the wife's job? Yeah, she was a nurse at a hospital. Or a doctor at a hospital, actually. I think she was more important than a nurse or something like that. And so they have amnesia. They're not in love with each other. They're getting separated. And one of the first things that you ever hear in the whole game is, Jamie, I've decided to quit my job and become a junker. So Junker, he decides to move to Neo Kobe and quit his previous job and become a junker to arrest and hunt down and also like execute and kill the Snatchers who are killing people and killing rich people and taking their identities. So on your first day in the job, you were called in as backup to another junker trying to hunt down a Snatcher. But this junker died and had his head ripped off. Also, like, yeah, the Snatchers have superhuman strength, and they're really, like, barbaric and brutal about it and love tearing people up and playing with the guts or something, and they make it gross for some reason. Maybe because since they're robot people, they have some kind of dispassionate but non-empathetic fascination with human goop and guts. Anyways, so you find the goopy, gory remains of the other junker, and then track down the Snatchers who killed him. And the Snatchers are operating, or the Snatchers like to frequent a nightclub, although I don't think the manager's involved in, like, cutting them deals, or the manager might not even be super aware of what's going on. The Snatchers like to buy lots of sunscreen, because Snatcher skin apparently is very vulnerable to skin cancer, and Snatchers, like real human beings, apparently don't want to die and want to live as long as possible and get surgery to fix their cancer. Which also is like, they're robots. I guess maybe that's what's going on. They're getting robot surgery and getting a skin transplant every few... They're getting some kind of skin cancer surgery from Queen's Hospital, which is a black market hospital with a secret switch behind one of the desks that leads to an underground layer, if I remember. But I don't think we went down there because it was too dangerous. We needed to come back. Okay, right. We track down the killer Snatchers, and almost get killed by the Snatchers, but then Sting from the band Sting breaks us out. In this game, Sting plays a Snatcher bounty hunter named Random Hajile. Also, the fact that there are Snatcher bounty hunters in this universe seems... There is some actual in-universe tension or contradictions to explore with the Junkers themselves. There's like two factions of Snatcher hunters in this world. There's the Junkers and then bounty hunters. I guess bounty hunters are private and Junkers are government is the idea. But anyways, the two of you don't investigate Queens. You investigate Queens Hospital. It's dark and abandoned and looks out of place. They keep the lights, the sign on, but not the lights on inside. And there was a very dark and spooky segment where I used a flashlight, and it was awesome. I think you find a hidden switch that leads underground, but you don't want to go down. You find something that gets your main character convinced all of a sudden that the bosses inside Junker HQ are Snatchers. I'm trying to remember what it was. Right, the Snatchers like keeping around old Russian memorabilia from the 90s for some reason, and you find a piece of old Russian memorabilia from the 90s in your boss's office, and I think you find a matchbook for the nightclub that the Snatchers like visiting in the engineer's belongings. Neither of which I think I would consider proof beyond a doubt that they're Snatchers. I mean, they work at Junker HQ. They would have an interest in Snatcher things. It seems relatively believable that guys who work on Snatchers as their job would keep Snatcher memorabilia around their offices. But Gideon's fucking convinced and immediately hopped on his motorcycle to speed to, that's right, yeah, there was a very important world leader conference at, like, United Nations headquarters, and he gets on his motorcycle and drives as fast as he can. But oh no, someone sabotaged his brakes, which Gillian further interprets as further proof that his bosses are Snatchers. It is Sting from the band Sting, who then busts us out of the runaway car in an exciting car chase segment that was also hilarious and really funny and awesome. And he drops us off at Queens Hospital. Why did we come back to Queens, though? Why did we not go to, like, the United Nations? There was a very important United Nations Snatcher Summit meeting. I'm trying to remember why we're at Queens Hospital instead, and I think I'm blanking on that. Metal Gear's just gonna save. Okay, Random wants to go inside, so he's with us. Alright, so let me check on Twitch chat, see what I got wrong, what I got right. Snatchers are a foreign element here. A cyberpunk regular topia? It's a cyberpunk topia. It's a tapioca. The off-grid people live in the part of the city which is uninhabitable due to cyber pollen. Yeah, I mean, that's tragic, it sucks, but the government seems like they're aware and that they're at least thinking about doing something, whereas I feel like in real life they would call in the fire station to just hose the people down with water or something. The air is toxic now. It's certainly a cyberpunk genre game. Yeah. You see, they got some problems, but there's some things here that I can look at and admire. One thing going is that the authors didn't predict smartphones. So when you actually walk around with other people, they're a hell of a lot more, like, sociable and normal and also, like, weirdly literate and intelligent than people of the real cyberpunk dystopia ended up being. Yeah, there's more intimate social connections. People have a sense of community. Like, there's an active nightclub sort of thing. Christmas shopping going on. Society has not become rotten by mass media deliberately manipulating them in a very conscious, visible way that the story is concerned about. Yeah, shit. I would rather live in this I'll put it this way. I would rather live in this cyberpunk world than RoboCop. I would rather live in this cyberpunk world than actual Blade Runner. Of all the cyberpunk worlds that you can pick between having to live in, I think if you picked this one, you would have some problems, but maybe the least amount. The air is toxic. They have killer androids. and half the city is poor people who live off grid because of cyber pollen, right? Shit, you take some, you lose some. It's having to exchange reality from that is not exactly an easy zero-sum decision, but I feel like it would still be at least a step up. The air is toxic snow, there's cyber pollen. We lived through a few years of the air being infested with the toxic cyber virus. I think we can. It's so wild that we can now consume fiction like this with the certain set of cards and factors that almost give you more of a frame of reference than the characters themselves are going to have in the game. So, air is toxic, cyber pollen exists, and there's killer androids, but take it or leave it. You got killer secret police, the air in real life is toxic anyway. Killer androids, we might not have killer androids, but we have job killer AIs. The air is toxic. We do share that with the fictional cyberpunk dystopia, and I mean, if Snatchers existed in real life, I don't even think I would be that scared. I would not be that afraid of Snatchers, and it sounds like people in this universe aren't that afraid either. When they first started showing up, it sounds like there was a short-term trend in like pop culture for a month or two. Like companies were selling worried soccer moms advanced security equipment, but once people found out that they only targeted rich people, most people didn't give a fuck anymore about the Snatchers. That's not entirely true. We spent a lot of time with the daughter of a Snatcher cop was worried about, a normal person worried about Snatchers, but it sounds like most people don't actually give that much a fuck about it. Weird pseudo-cops can break into your apartment and arrest you for drug... Yeah, without a warrant, because you kind of look like an evil robot. That's dystopic. Yeah, like real life, the real life cyberpunk dystopia, I think, has taken a few more alarming turns than this fictional one from 40 years ago. The Snatchers haven't sent out anyone to negotiate with. They always self-destruct when discovered. Yeah, I would like to imagine that peaceful coexistence with the Snatchers may one day be possible, but I think the morality play is fairly clear enough here that the Snatchers themselves are firing the first shots and don't seem interested in peace at the moment. And it's been like 5 years of this. Misanthropic Sting, Gordon Sumner. Are the CRT directly from the emulator, or did you add them? Hey, Victorial Huss, they are in the emulator. It's CRT filter something Royale. The emulator is Ares, and the CRT filter itself is maximus-royale. Haha, yes. Maximus-royale. Might be post-cyberpunk. Rather live in it than Ghost in the Shell. I'd rather live here than 2026 America. Yeah, no, same. Trig the Discovery, like... I think most of us would rather live in a Japanese city specifically designed to make things easier for foreigners who still get to enjoy being in Japan in other respects. This is... Neo Kobe City is aspirational. That is the one thing that, like, is the most unbelievable about imagining in real life. You could not imagine... I don't think many of us would imagine Japan building Neo Kobe City in real life. Some people don't believe they exist still, as Jamie said. Novelty Snatcher mask. 2026 isn't any good. The Snatcher Cop's daughter is a model, so she might be at risk of snatching. Yeah, she's in a special category. She doesn't represent all the normal people. She's one very special edge case. They had lynch mobs for suspected snatchers. Yeah, but didn't that kind of fizzle itself out? Captain Logger, wasn't that kind of like a short-term trend? A brief episode of mass hysteria that I think was years past that it seems like people have moved past. Kind of like, lynch mobs for suspected snatchers. Welcome, Fox 2. Okay, let's get back to it. So, Sting and Harrison Ford from Blade Runner, Detective Harrison Ford from Blade Runner and Sting, are going on an adventure together to a spooky abandoned hospital in a cyberpunk topia city. Yeah, let's actually coin a word. What is an extravagant fictional city that is also, like, kind of remarkably normal? Roman word for ordinary. Ordinarius! So, a dystopia, a utopia. Let's do the Greek word for ordinary. Synethis?
Ordinary. Synethis.
Koinos, common, shared. Diotes, private, or... Okay, I think I kind of like Orditopia. An Orditopia, an ordinary topia. It's a pretty city full of beautiful flashing lights, and it can feel kind of grimy and dangerous, and you can go on a wild adventure, and it's very, very diverse with all these scary Chinese people who are walking here. But I mean, I haven't seen, like, weird costumed gangs of sexy ladies with umbrellas doing a dance like in Blade Runner. There aren't crazy doll people. Yeah, people have cars and jobs. It's not trashy and full of homeless people wandering the streets like in Deus Ex. There's some districts that look like that, and they're like a small quarter minority portion of the city, not the whole thing. That's like a real ordinary modern city. It's a orditopia. The cyberpunk cat girls. I don't remember cyberpunk cat girls either. I think I remember 80s girls who didn't look like they were from a cyberpunk. Oh yeah, there are genetically modified cat handbags. Okay, that's one thing they got that I don't think we have a very relatable, modern, real-world analogy to. What do we got, or what are we looking forward to in the near future in real life? That's similar to genetically modified cat handbags. I need to stop thinking about this and actually play the freaking game. Yeah, I just want a plot summary. Why are we going to the Queen's Hospital instead of the Snatcher Summit meeting? Laboob. I knew there was some kind of freakishly unnatural looking bio-horror fashion statement going around these days that had some kind of association with handbags, and it would be the Laboobos. I was thinking of Laboobos. We don't have genetically modified cats that have pouches that women use as purses, but we do have Laboobos. Maybe in a few years they will be real little, like, gremlin monsters. Hey, wait a second. Didn't we just get a very clear Kojima-ism? Yeah, listen! Listen, kid. Sometimes people's preconceived notions are capable of distorting reality, aren't they? That was a Kojima game quote. I don't know if we'll get a plot summary of why we're here. Can someone... Is game video frozen? Oh, brother. I think I gotta get it out of full screen mode. Side. Man, damn, Alright, am I moving up and down the menu? I'm going up and down. Move, look, investigate, talk, use Metal Gear. Moving works. Okay, but now I'm gonna turn into full screen mode. Investigate. Okay, I'm going up and down. Is it frozen? Is it frozen? I'm moving the menu up and down. I'm surprised that people can even tell that it's frozen because nothing's really moving on the screen. Okay, it doesn't move. Frozen. Alright, let's try... Boop. Game capture. Red. Okay. We're going up. Now we're going down. We're going up. Pressing up and then... Now we're going down. I'm pressing down and then... We're moving again according to Captain Logger. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Move. Go inside. Alright, now entering their security system. Are we seeing this? Are we got a good capture? I can't recall the exact reason, but you left before you investigated the basement, so you're back to check it out. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's all the reason the narrative needs to satisfy our curiosity from the first time you visit. Who names their kid Random? That can't be his real name. It'd be like naming your kid Sting. Nice colors. Reminds me of one of those Warner Brothers cartoons from the 90s, the Animaniacs and Freakazoid, where everything was real dark and bold for visual style, but definitely not in tone. Alright, was it door 3? Right. I think light switch was on the desk. I think it was maybe door 1. No! Oh yeah, Chinese periodic table cipher. Okay, let's refresh myself. Did that have a name of someone from Junker HQ on it? I would like to get my list of possessions out, actually. Oh, I hate this. God, Oh, God. Yeah, I know that, like, there's gonna be a spooky skeleton face laughing at me when I slide the flashlight over something. Alright, so you, like, twist the trophy and it slides the desk on these rails, right? Isn't that how it worked? Face. Doesn't this look... It... What? What? Why? Their eyes don't register optical illusions? Did we hear about anything about that before? Not something a human would notice. It could. Bum bum bum.
This apparently leads down to a lower level.
It looks like Jamie was right. Queen's Hospital does have a basement.
And that basement is the Snatcher's main lair. Out of the frying pan and into the fire, as they say. Well, what do we do now, Gillian?
Peep. 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 I think we're done peeping. Yeah, we're done peeping. Let's save. I saw that number 3 and 4 are gonna be disposable for now. Number 1, I don't want to touch. All right, let's go. Snatcher's heavier than regular people?
It's a very narrow stairway. We'll have to go down single file.
Okay, who's going to take the point?
That's obvious. The guy with the light.
Hey, that's not fair.
Yes, it is. You're a robot. Uh-oh. Oh, were those supposed to be robot footsteps?
Well, well, what do we have here?
It's the hospital corridor.
It's the same hallway, but not the one that's on the first floor.
So what does that mean?
An entire floor of Queen's Hospital has been duplicated underground.
So the same floor is both upstairs and downstairs. Sort of like
Okay.
parallel worlds.
Okay.
So that desolate
Or
setup upstairs
prefab
is all just a
construction.
smokescreen. They're making it look like the place is closed down, but in reality, they're keeping themselves quite busy.
Gillian, that means we're already right in the middle of their headquarters. Please use extreme caution.
Yeah, let's do a scan. Never mind, guess not. That seems reasonable. No, it's not. You just went to a different floor of the same office building. So, what happens if we go down another level in door 3? You say that as a joke, Trig, but I swear that real hospitals are actually designed like this shit. I have never been more lost in my life. I have wandered in and out of the Black Forest in Germany on hiking, biking trips and retained a better sense of direction than I have trying to get in and out of hospitals in Georgia. Button. Uh-oh. There is something special about the third door. Alright. How stealthy are we being? Are we technically sneaking right now? Are we actually having a stealth episode, some stealth dynamics, some stealth action and Snatcher here? Some movement. Why is that under the investigate? Bum bum bum. That's a Snatcher? It is? Specimen. It looks like a skeleton. It looks like a normal human skeleton. Your character is paranoid. Smell? So it is a regular human skeleton. Bum bum bum! Bum bum bum! I'm aiming for the head, alright. Oh. The forehead?
Did I get it?
The Snatcher's functions have been terminated. There's no doubt now that this is their maintenance facility. This one was probably still waiting to get its artificial skin installed.
So this is what they really look like, huh?
Yeah, that's the scariest thing about them. You can't tell them from real people once they've got that skin on.
Perhaps that's humanity's great weakness. We're always judging books by their cover.
And it's just that human weakness that they're up to take advantage of.
All right, Random. Metal,
Wait,
let's go.
is Hideo Kojima gonna teach us a
Take care of
lesson?
him later. We've got an investigation to do.
Terminated? Why did the Snatcher move the skeleton out of the way? Was it just like hiding behind some furniture thinking, oh, you know what would really spook him is moving the skeleton around? Oh gosh, there's eyeballs in the tubes. What? Okay, why are there eyeballs? I guess desktop? Micro manipulators. Okay, I just... Short-term memory had a hard time associating ceiling with the description we ended up getting. Is there anything else to do here? I don't know. That was a new description. Great, that was everything. I've done everything there is to do in room. We'll check room 1. Okay, that was everything in room number 1. Why did this not show up until just now? The funny thing is that the thought hit me at the very same moment I evidently unlocked it.
Alright, let's try pushing both buttons simultaneously.
The 2 buttons are on opposite panels, so there's no way one person can push them both alone. But if 2 of us work together, it might do it.
That's it, Gillian. It makes perfect sense. It's the same system they used to use in nuclear missile silos in the late 20th century. Eliminates the risk of one man going nuts and acting alone.
Well, it's hard to be sure, but let's give it a try anyway. I've got button 1. Random, you push number 2. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Come on!
You did it! Door number 3 opened.
With safety measures like that, they must have had a good reason for wanting to keep it closed.
Uh-oh, that's the morgue. Snatcher up. Wow.
Good God!
I read 4 human skeletons in this room.
It's their morgue!
Perhaps victims of the Snatchers?
Well, it doesn't look like whoever put them here was too worried about making sure they would rest in peace.
No, it doesn't. These have got to be their victims.
This is probably where they hide the bodies of the originals they snatched from places like Outer Heaven.
They
Oh.
probably picked Outer Heaven because it gets a lot of VIP traffic. Plus, during masquerade time, they could work the place and still keep their identities secret.
Yeah, and the guy who set up the link between them and Outer Heaven was Freddy, that taxi driver.
And they're like,
He must have gone after
flesh
him
has been
not
stripped
because of who
off.
he was, but what he did. After all, with a taxi, there's plenty of chances to milk your customers for information. That's probably how they learned about Outer Heaven and Plato's Cavern.
I've been wondering what they had done with the bodies.
Want to hide a book? What better place than the library? Need to hide a body? How about the morgue?
And for them, keeping the bodies hidden is crucial. I mean, if somebody who's supposed to be dead is out walking the streets, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out that something screwy is going on.
That means that if we can figure out who these bodies
wait.
were, then we've just nailed 4 Snatchers.
Okay, why is one of them like rotting with flesh and maggots, but the others are picked clean? Because I was just thinking that, like, does that mean that they're peeling the flesh off of the corpses and then wearing it to make their disguise? I thought it was like a Terminator thing where they use cyber tech skin that they like grow. But okay, one of those skeletons is like shocking and gross. The others are nice and clean and dry. So I guess that means that maybe the peeling people's flesh off and wearing it might not be part of their MO. I don't know. Let's find out. This might get gross. Also, this is very weird music to be playing for the, like, gory, shocking body horror part. They have demonstrated that they have, like, no reverence for gore, though. This has been a thing. If anything, they, like... I have been interpreting it as them, like enjoy fucking up gushy, wet bio people and dogs. Human corpses and dog corpses have been, like, played with by these Snatchers. Oh, come on. Just say Rust. Just say Rust, Kojima. Kojima's the kind of guy who would actually say oxidation instead of rust. So how do maggots get down here? Oh, that's right, the flies carrying. So just, yeah, like, a couple flies need to make their way down there, and then they could have a maggot party in a day or two. Estimated time of death. Oh my god. Oh my god, we have to learn about trivia of decomposer insects. We can't just get a straight answer in a Kojima game. We have to get a little lesson on something. Less than 30 days. 4 months. See, I thought that the flesh would have been removed manually if they were kept indoors. If the body's outside, don't they like turn into a white, spooky, scary skeleton after a few months of other creatures eating them up? But if you keep a body inside, it's like a gross, leathery crypt keeper kind of situation. A Draugr from Skyrim versus a skeleton from Skyrim. I don't know. I'm not... I swear... Officer, whatever officers are watching this can clearly see how ignorant I am of such topics, okay? I'm innocent, I swear. Cause of death. Yeah, none of them had, like, their faces fucking twisted off like the Junker in the beginning did. Who else have we seen killed by a Snatcher? We saw the dog killed by a Snatcher, and the dog was, like, disemboweled, like its guts got pulled out or something. And it was still twitching. Like, the Snatcher kept its nerves functioning. Determine the cause of death. These bodies, they're intact. They didn't get torn apart, but they're definitely not being treated like someone with some degree of reverence and respect for the human body. This is wild, right? When the Snatchers get violent, they turn into, like, utterly insane cavemen. But when the Snatchers need to lie to people and pretend to be someone else, they're really smart, and they liked keeping the apartment clean with a bath running. I guess we can't find the cause of death. Identity. Yeah, don't we, like, do it with the teeth or something at this point? The guy with the flesh might be easy. We'll make sure their identities didn't get out. If we even had some teeth. Got teeth. Deliberately misaligned? Are you kidding me? A simulated reconstruction. Okay. Reconstruct corpse. Do I have to look at it? Can I keep my eyes at the text? Is the test gonna be like...
Performing simulated reconstruction of the head and facial
Okay.
features of each of the 4 victims. Commencing with victim number 1. Now performing craniometric analysis. X-ray and sagittal...
Porn and gore. Yeah, we're definitely playing a Japanese computer game from the 90s.
Cranial data now being compiled. Craniometric analysis complete.
One of the things that blows my mind...
First, victim's age.
Hang
Estimate
on.
based 1. Presence or absence of cranial fontanelles and chroma of epicranial sutures. 2. Area of facial region and cranium. 3. Height of upper and lower jaw and development of alveolar part. And 4. Location of cranial center of gravity. Next, victim's sex. Estimate based on 1. Overall size of cranium. 2. Parietal bone angle. And 3. Development of splachocranium. Lastly, victim's race. Estimate based on 1. Overall cranial configuration. 2. Volume of intercranial cavity. And 3. Mass of the skull. Now commencing soft feature reconstruction based on average results of above analysis.
Oh, thanks.
Initial phase completed.
It really narrows it down.
Estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair and eye features. Reconstruction of head of first victim completed.
My skull fell.
Moving on
Freddie
to second
Nielsen.
victim. Now commencing reconstruction of features.
Who is Freddie Nielsen?
Now starting
Might need a refresher.
analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction. Craniometric
That's
analysis.
not the Benson.
Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous
Cab
reconstruction.
driver.
Reconstructing. Initial phase completed.
When did we encounter him?
Estimate of victim's race 10% based
Have
on
we
use of
encountered him?
average values. Now adding
I'm playing this
postulated
too
hair and eye
slowly.
features.
Oh, I remember her. Yeah.
Listen, Nielsen.
Okay.
Now commencing reconstruction of features of victim number 3.
So these are the two
Craniometric analysis.
who got snatched and tried to, the Snatcher versions of him tried to kill,
As the previous reconstruction. Craniometric
tried to kill
analysis.
me, and then Sting busted us out.
Commencing
Yeah, it's coming back.
Reconstructing.
Okay, now are we gonna get a Benson?
Margin of error on estimate of victim's race 10% based on use of average values. Now adding postulated hair.
This is a spoken word song.
Reconstruction of
Is that Napoleon?
Who in the world is that?
That's the director of Queen's Hospital. Shin Fui, what's his face?
Okay, not Napoleon.
Oh, Gillian.
Did he just make fun of his pronunciation?
Now starting craniometric analysis. Complete cranial data now being compiled using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction.
This is so
Craniometric
good.
Analysis complete. Now commencing reconstruction using the same techniques as the previous reconstruction.
These Kojima games are always so good at
Initial phase complete.
keeping you
Margin
suspense
of error on estimate of victim's race
at the edge of your
10%
seat
use of average values. Now adding
and smoothly transitioning contrasting emotions.
final victim completed.
Is that Benson?
It's the chief.
Yeah.
The chief is a snatcher. The Benson on the scrap of that patient record was Benson Cunningham.
Judging from the condition of the body, I would estimate that the snatching took place approximately 1 month ago.
So
Wow.
it was the chief who sabotaged our turbo cycle. And those matches we found in Harry's room, the chief must have put them there to try to set him up.
No doubt Harry figured it out and decided to leave that face-to-face message. Wait a minute. Didn't Mika say that Harry had left to go find the chief?
That's right. He was probably trying to track down some evidence on the chief.
Gillian, I'd say that this Harry has put himself in a pretty dangerous spot.
If it was the chief that sabotaged the turbo cycle...
I like how your eyes follow the squares at the bottom,
Damn. Harry and Mika
so you get like some kind of full body movement experience out of following the conversation,
That's far enough.
where every
Junker.
time a new character
Your
talks,
level of
you
investigation
kind of
is
turn to
over.
face them, even if it is just your eyes on the screen.
It's them.
Who? Snatchers? Get them!
Okay, so that's the Fu Manchu guy who the robot made fun of his pronunciation.
I can't reach my blaster.
I'm hitting the leg!
Is that the best you can do, Junker?
Who's there?
Jin Shuo, you scum.
It seems you still have some fight left in
On.
you. You two are finished, but our plans move forward. We are now entering phase 2. And when we do, not only this city, but the entire world will be ours to command.
Phase 2? What are you talking about?
As you know, our operations have been hindered up to now by the flaws in our artificial skin. The skin's shortcomings have kept us away from ultraviolet rays.
This is not exactly
Do our work at night,
what I
underground,
expected.
or in the winter. In the end, we had to construct a hospital like
That's
this.
specific.
All because of the flaws in our artificial skin. This was the only difference between us and you humans. But now we have broken this barrier.
You're also like way heavier.
We are on the verge of developing a perfect artificial skin. Thanks to the cooperation of a new partner in our plan.
Perfect.
Volgan here is
A new partner?
spilling everything.
Once we have the
Gillian is just saying the same thing with question marks.
And with that, our plan moves to phase 2. Our little experiment in this city will end. And we'll move in force to take over the world.
Don't be so sure. You won't get out of the city that easy.
You humans are always so overconfident, so naive.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're aware that the Kyoto summit being held to
Yeah.
handle the Snatcher problem opens tomorrow.
Metal. Is that right?
Yes. Countries around the world are concerned about the Snatcher problem. It will be one of the main topics discussed at this year's summit.
That's right. Tomorrow, we attack the summit.
You must be crazy. The security there will be incredible. You won't even get close.
Must I explain everything to you, Junker? Aren't
Yeah.
you aware that a fellow Junker will be...
That's what villains and narratives do.
At the summit?
The chief, Cunningham. So that's why you snatched him.
We've known that your chief would be speaking at the summit for over 3 months now.
This is adorable.
The summit is tomorrow. We have to hurry.
Listen, we have your chief. You Junkers are at our mercy, and so is this city.
Okay.
Tomorrow, we move on the world. Nothing can stop
No
us.
way.
We will finally
No way.
long-awaited goal of global domination.
No way.
It's we you keep talking about.
Oh my god.
We are an evolved life form, given life
Tomorrow,
in
the
depths of
world.
Kremlin by our creator, Modnar. We are
Dr. Metal Gear?
The Kremlin. Those names are familiar, but
Our goal is to snatch all of the world's leaders and then achieve total control of human thought and worldwide racial unification.
What?
humanity won't be so easily dominated. You
What?
underestimate the strength of the human spirit.
I think not.
This just got...
Same way as the Nazis. With the overpowering of the spirit, we will solve humans' weakest point, the most primitive part of your psychological makeup, your suspiciousness and fear. By provoking suspicion and mistrust throughout the populace, we will destroy that fragile fabric which holds your society together, that of trust. Fear is you humans' weak point. It is the primitive part of your brains that binds you forever to
Ah!
ancestors.
There's an electric guitar in the background.
By stimulating that part of your atavistic instincts. Our
Atavistic?
succeed magnificently.
Oh my god.
Gillian, at this rate, they'll kill us all. You've got to get out alive.
It's so nice experiencing a Kojima story I haven't gone through a gajillion times before and seeing
Snatched. What?
everything
Yourself up? No, we're better off fighting.
associated with the name happening in a very different environment.
The thigh. Ow. Oh, damn. A bounty hunter can't do anything with a leg wound like this. I might as well have been shot in the head.
There must be some way out of here.
Hey, I wasn't doing this job just for
The vent.
I stayed ready for situations like this. I've
Use
always
the
been
vent.
prepared to go out with a bang.
It's December. A little late for fireworks.
So it'll be an off-season show.
No, I can't let you.
What did that
My
mean?
belt's packed with TNT-PX. That really strong stuff they use in the mines on Mars. One hospital will go. No trouble at all. No time to sit around thinking, sugar boy. No. What are you doing? Butt moving, you fool. Get out through this air shaft. I've got a powerful strobe on me. Its flash will screw up their sensors long enough.
Hurry up, I need to move my face an inch, please.
Anyway, Gillian.
I've held this pose for 6 minutes.
Finished chatting? Then I think it's time for you to die. We're quite busy, you know.
You ready?
Ugh.
Get the signal, break into the air shaft, and run. And don't forget your blaster.
Metal, stay with me.
Yes, sir.
Random.
Gillian! Doesn't look like I'm gonna have a chance to call in that debt you owe me.
Don't worry. I'll pay it back to the Snatchers with interest.
All right, go! Run, Gillian!
Did I press something? Oh, no.
Metal, you okay?
I alien.
Metal, something broken?
We're watching a 10-minute Kojima cutscene.
Okay, but it appears that circuits have been damaged somewhat.
How did this work on the text version?
Himself up after getting us into this air shaft.
Random.
How did they make Metal sound like Porky Pig?
That explosion should have taken all of Queen's Hospital with it.
The thick walls of this duct must have shielded us from enough of the blast. If it wasn't for Random, we wouldn't have made it. Oh, Random.
Gillian, we have no time for grief now. We must get back to Junker headquarters as quickly as possible. Harry and Mika are in danger.
You're right. And I have to keep my promise.
The 3 employees.
First, we have to figure out how to get out of here.
I can't see a thing. What should we do?
Light. Okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, but I want to point out that, like, this is ridiculous. This just completely jumped off the rails. So now the true nature of the Snatchers have been revealed, and if what the villain was saying is actually true, it is so much lamer than what I was expecting, while still showing, like, a lot of the ambition that Kojima games were trying to get out. So I guess I was correct that they were a Soviet weapons science experiment from the 90s, but they want to take over the world and achieve racial unification by making everyone real afraid of one another. You know what? I was laughing through a lot of that description. It was utterly insane. I got to think about it while peeing in the toilet for a minute or two to really grasp what I just saw. But one thing that I want to point out that I just saw is that one thing that you can see happening here that makes the Kojima games so remarkably ahead of their time is that he is trying to unify the entertainment mediums of movies and video games back here, but doing it in a way that is really different from a lot of other names in the business. In the sense that he does not necessarily want a movie that you play, or at least that's not necessarily how he's thinking about this style of entertainment experience, so much as he's thinking about how, like, when you stop watching the movie and are then expected to do something yourself, it adds so much more interesting tension and questions to the audience's experiences that aren't going to be coming out in other mediums. One of which was the screen going black for a suspiciously long time and me wondering if I was supposed to press something. I start mashing buttons, then the characters start talking. I don't know if I made them do that or not, and that's a question I wouldn't have been thinking through. Another one is, like, when the cutscene is building up and you see the hero in trouble, in your head you're thinking, like, oh god, how am I going to get out of this? And how are the failed attempts that are surely going to happen going to make the narrative continuity I'm seeing so much more weird and dissonant, or hilarious and fun? And if I actually manage to get it right on the first try and we get to see a continuous clean, heroic narrative of the hero succeeding and on your first attempt in the player seat, you're going to feel an extremely intense burst of dopamine and satisfaction at progressing the narrative in a way that's unique as well. I'm going to go to the bathroom and think about the villain's plan, because what I was actually thinking about when all of that was going down was game criticism stuff about how the movie did not feel like a reward for good gameplay so much as the movie felt like it was building suspense and setting me up for the interesting new gameplay challenge that was coming up now. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay, so I guess what I meant to use as a point of comparison is comparing this to a precision action platformer of the day. It wasn't called Outer Worlds. Was it called Out of This World? I think it was an Amiga computer game that got ported to Super Nintendo and stuff. Early 90s, Snatcher's technically late 80s, but it was a very visually beautiful cinematic masterpiece if you were playing it correctly and doing it right on the first try. The game was a trial and error moon logic slog to actually play. Kojima games, and then in comparison, there's also some like graphic adventure games, like compared to a LucasArts game that is also very, very cinematic and wanted to be like movies, compared to FMV games that would come out in the 90s following a lot of the same train of thought. There's like the challenge of stuff like that is playing the game over and over again until it can finally look like a movie. In Kojima games, it's not the same challenge. Like you feel like you're having a cinematic movie-like game, but it's not calibrated towards the basis of imitating something. The challenge of the game is not to imitate something that looks like a movie. There's long cutscenes that do look like movies and more or less function as movies, but the tension of what happens between those cutscenes is one where you're thinking in thoughts of a narrative continuity like a movie, but not actually playing a game that like a movie. Yeah, Kojima games are great. This is great. Let's get out of the dark cave. We just had a encounter with the villain who revealed the villain's plans and threw us in a dark cave, and we got to get creative to light it up. Get out of here. Well, that looks good. Now it looks like Die Hard. Die Hard wasn't out. I think he wants you to enjoy the game. I recall in the GQ questionnaire he tests his games on normal. Yeah. Enjoy the game. I don't know if that's the same philosophy that some other people making movie games in the 90s were having, where they wanted you to die and retry so many times in your out-of-the-world style cinematic platformer that enjoyment might not be very easy to come across. And then in FMV games that use actual movie footage, you had to like wrap your mind around moon logic puzzles. In Kojima games, there's a lower bar of accessibility that has obviously performed well. The best Kojima cutscenes are fun to watch and also have you active as they prepare you for the next gameplay segment. They also do things that are not necessarily out of the realm of the possibility of the gameplay. Like when Snake is doing fancy judo karate moves in the cutscenes in Metal Gear Solid 3, he's a lot of times doing stuff that you can do in the game. So there's a sort of hinting going on that's mutually helpful. Looks cool on the cutscenes and also helps clue you in to what playing the game should maybe look or feel like when you're in control. As opposed to Romero, who playtested his Doom levels on ultra violence and ramped it down from there. During my playthrough, these scenes felt like checklists where the necessary checks were random. I wasn't feeling like I was solving scenes. They're taking pity on me and letting me continue. Become a junker. Look for a hospital. Have a few laughs. I'm gonna try to get all immersed. This is very good. This is very atmospheric, exciting sequence. I should not be talking and looking at Twitch chat so much. I should be trying to enjoy the game and his webbed hands. Look at the webs between his fingers on his hands. He looks like Gillian is an aquatic creature who evolved from millions of years to be the master of both land and sea. He is not your average human. He is, as a matter of fact, a step above the rest of us. He's equipped to be the dominator of both worlds. Maybe that's the Snatcher's secret plans. No, Gillian, we will put webs on our fingers, and we will become the masters of the oceans as well as the land. And we will unite the planet in racial unification. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to point out is that of everything that I was just talking about with regards to games imitating movies and usually creating a kind of frustrating trial and error experience versus Kojima games that try to be like movies and tend to be a lot more accessible and easily playable by most demographics and have things flow in a smoother paced way. That whole scene that was so fucking hilarious right now would have actually been really remarkable in both 1988 and 1994. In text with no voice acting, that still would have been a shocking, revelatory plot twist. But I want to point out that is why I don't want Metal Gear to have voice acting. Metal Gear 2. Metal Gear 2, if I was reading that in text, it would have hit me so much harder. The voice acting added an element of cheesy fun that I don't think was intended by the author there. But yeah. A plot twist where the heroes were actually villains all along and they betrayed you and lied to you is something that I remember Western Gaming Magazine saying was remarkable about Deus Ex in 1999. Funny that they're both cyberpunk detective noir kind of adventures. But, and I guess you would also get more leeway to expect a complicated narrative from a visual novel adventure game instead of a first-person shooter like Deus Ex. But yeah, a video game that does have this kind of narrative that lies to you and builds your trust up and then gets you liking a cool sidekick who looks like Sting, who then sacrifices himself in a heroic moment of glory. And then like I feel almost like we're going through that kind of plot twist where you in all the action games where the villain strips you of your powers and throws you in a prison cell and you got to break out with all the basic moves that you had at the beginning of the game. Like it feels like things suddenly got way more desperate and I'm hooked. I really will actually want to know how this is going to keep going down. So I need to shut up and actually press the buttons on the controller and play. Could be construction equipment. Analyze it, why not? I would not have thought that sand was remarkable here, but maybe. M District. Why would they be dragging it through the vents? Do the Snatchers take the duck to get from the basement and ground levels? Level 4 hardness. Oh, yeah, that's the good one. Ah, not just a simple air duct. Maybe it's a slide. Maybe it's a deliberately built slide. Yeah, what if what if one of them's coming down and hits us with right in the face with their big Snatcher booty? What if we get stuck together in the slide and have to awkwardly peel out? Maybe the sand was used for friction reduction? And we go. Oh, advance! Move just turned to advance. Okay. I didn't notice it on the bottom. Insectors. Wonder if we could have gone without this. This feels a bit too much like a normal video game and not a cool Kojima game. It's also just easy peasy. Controls aren't quite as responsive as I would have liked. Yeah, they're not that big of a deal. Gillian's fine, he'll just shoot them using his webbed trigger fingers. Metal, the webs on my fingers help me shoot the gun better. Thanks to the webbing, I can always keep a bit of flesh on the trigger at all times, even when my finger's not directly on it. Is that a regular footstep or a Snatcher foot?
What in the world?
This is part of the tube liner, the city's long-abandoned subway system.
Okay.
Queen's Hospital and this were connected?
Yes, it would appear that the Snatchers were using this to move from place to place. This would provide them with the perfect way to move about while still avoiding the ultraviolet rays they hate so much. We should have realized this sooner. The city is crisscrossed by the tube liner's old lines, and since they are abandoned, the Snatchers could move undetected as well.
Aha! That's how those two we caught a glimpse of at the abandoned factory where Gibson was killed were able to disappear so quickly. They must have used this subway.
That would appear to be correct. The tube liner passes underneath that factory site as well. That would also explain why...
I guess they're not worried about getting
at the hospital.
robbed or anything because of their super Snatcher strength.
Stay out of the sun and avoid being seen while they moved around.
Now we know why it took so long to uncover them.
All right, let's follow the subway. We should be able to get out when we get to the nearest station.
Look at this change of art style. I wonder if they got the Snatcher SD guys to work on this scene. Oh yeah, I'm in control of the menus in this. Look at this sense of progression. The game is constantly throwing us into new situations, new sites, but the rules we have learned still make sense.
metal, light.
Yes, but this doesn't look like a station.
There's a ladder.
Where do you suppose it leads, Gillian?
I don't have the slightest, but let's climb it and see.
All right, now climbing the ladder. We seem
Bum,
to
bum,
have emerged
bum.
into an odd place. Wait, this room.
It's Freddie Nielsen's bathroom.
Okay.
He was using this shaft from the bathtub to get down into the subway.
They installed that.
Did that.
They would need to do heavy construction work.
After you disposed of Lisa, he somehow entered the apartment without using
The Snatchers are like civil engineers.
By using this secret passage into his bathtub.
They know how to install
of a double construction.
secret passages
When they wanted to
going
open the
through
passage, all they needed to do was
tens of feet of concrete
in and out. They would just drain the water into another tank.
through city property.
Double bottom bathtubs, abandoned subways.
They're really good handymen.
Snatchers really go out of their way to stay out of the sun.
I should hire one to fix my toilet.
Let's head outside.
I would love to have super strength and sick-ass drywall skills. A nice table saw to cut through the concrete with. They have super strength to carry all the... Yeah, okay, to do this, you would need to pack this bathroom up with, like, bags of concrete powder. And like, mix it in to reinforce the tunnels. This is wild. I don't know if this Kojima story makes quite as much sense when you think about it like the others do. The junk team has already taken care of Freddy's remains. I feel like the construction of the Resident Evil mansion makes more sense, because that's out in the middle of nowhere. It's an established fact in the lore that the project was headed up by a guy who was weird about architecture, and I think there was also some connection with like art museum constructions. I don't know how you could keep a project like this secret in a building like this. Unless the whole building is made out of Snatchers. Is the whole building, is it just Snatchers who live in the building? People would have heard the construction. They would have seen them carrying dump trucks of material in and out of this one bathroom. People would have noticed. I mean, they didn't have internet, but Neo Kobe City is a functioning Ordotopia that has code enforcement inspectors who'd be a pain in the ass about it, right? I need to see what Twitch chat is saying about me nitpicking and criticizing the world building details of Snatcher on the Sega Saturn from 1994. Sub in the tub. I'd love subway access from the tub. Where in their notes, the architect was like, huh, they're kind of weird. Taking a bath and hearing the train pass underneath. Wait a second, how did they fill the bathtub with water, though, when he attacked me? Okay, so, because that would mean that, like, you'd have to plug the hole, right? And keep it a watertight seal. But now there's a ladder coming through the hole, so who opened the hole up and put the ladder in after we killed the Snatchers 3 weeks ago, the last time I streamed this? I'd assume it was constructed using the abandoned subway. People would still hear? But I feel like another continuity error is like, who put the ladder in here? Because the bathtub was drained and we were attacked, and I don't remember there being a secret passage, a giant obvious secret passage with a huge ladder that is a contrasting color against the bathtub installed. Someone did that. Someone opened up the secret passage and put the ladder on after we killed the Snatchers. Maybe it could have been the other Snatchers. Right. Yeah, no, this does make sense because the Snatchers are all like kind of in a gang together and have access to the secret Snatcher tunnel network. some other Snatcher might have come back to check up on them after the killing. Also, that map is weird too, like it doesn't fit. Chin Shu O. That's the other thing, like the villain is someone who I don't feel like was revealed before. Have we met that guy before? How come everybody is such a big Moscow fan? Moscow. Seems to hold some clue, doesn't it? Yeah, Jamie was a Moscow fan. Jamie's probably a Snatcher. He said something about the Kremlin achieving what was meant to be 55 years ago. Why is it playing the action music, though? I don't think I trust it. Oh no. Why don't I trust the taxi? Yeah. Bum bum bum!
Is he dead?
He's junk now. Stubborn one, wasn't he?
Jeez. He made it through that explosion and was waiting for us out here. If those things ever get control of the city, there's no way we'll ever get it back. We've got to stop them before that.
And to do that, we have to prevent the chief from getting to the Kyoto summit.
I know. And I have to pay back my debt to Random.
Let's use this taxi to get back to Junker headquarters.
I planned on it. I just hope Mika and Harry are safe.
Let's steal this car to go back to Junker. Oh, yeah! Is it just me, or does that look different than the one in the beginning of the game? I feel like the background wasn't as, Oh god, that's awesome. I feel like the background wasn't as complicated in the one in the earlier game. Like, we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6 layers of skyscraper buildings in the background. Even when there's no buildings in the background, you see lights twinkling from the darkness. This is... Oh, and there's hundreds of little pixels for every little office in the tower. Can I rewind a bit and like see it pan up again? I want to see the bottom of this. That is a beautiful bitmap. Also, it's getting climatic. Are we getting to the end of Snatcher? Oh no. Oh no. Then again, if the game actually is climaxing and coming to an end soon here, I am thinking back on everything, and there is a very, very complete, concise, clean Kojima narrative. Not like Death Stranding, I didn't want to take too long and waste your time and get things too complicated. I like tap on it and ask if anyone's in there. Okay, I'm gonna look at chat for a bit before turning this on. Out of This World flashback. That does look like a second left hand. So that wasn't webbed fingers, it was a second left hand. Frustrations aside, this is better than LucasArts / Sierra style Moon Logic. Yes, it absolutely is. Awkward progress is a lot better than no progress. This is the end of the PC-88 release, but there's another act for the CD versions. We're not there yet. Okay, so it's getting all climatic because in earlier versions they had to rush up and finish the game here. Okay. Investigate, shutter. Tap on it. Use your fingers and tap on it. Oh my god, what do I have to do to... Oh, yeah, okay. Door, booth. Ah! Investigate, look, investigate, shutter, investigate, door, look, area, investigate, shutter, ah! Go inside, ah! Look, door! Ah! Open shutter! Open shutter! Finally!
All right, I'm going to open it, but please use extreme caution. Anything could be inside.
Oh!
Mika! Mika, are you all right? Metal, how is she?
Her pulse is normal. The only external injuries are to her forehead, and they are not serious. There's been no significant blood loss.
Wait, she's just sleeping?
Mika, come on, snap out of it. It's me, Gillian.
Gillian? Gillian.
Mika, what happened?
Gillian, the chief. The chief is a snatcher.
So he's finally shown his true colors.
Harry's...
What's happened to Harry?
Harry put me in the pod and sealed the main door. He locked the snatcher in.
That was smart. Not even a snatcher can get through this shield.
So where's Harry?
He said keep the door sealed no matter what happens in there. And then he went in. Gillian, please help him.
Harry! Mika, open the door.
But what if Harry's a snatcher?
Metal, we're going in. Be careful. That That Snatcher could be hiding anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Gillian, please be careful. The chief is very cunning. Don't let your guard down.
Don't worry, I'll watch myself in there.
But wait, it's a Snatcher imitating the... Oh. Oh. Oh, no.
Harry!
Oh. Oh, Gillian. Is that you? I'm getting old. Just look at me.
What happened?
I saw the chief messing with your turbo cycle. And that weird picture in his office.
Metal. How is he? Metal!
I do not wish to say.
Really that bad, huh?
Gillian. Gillian, when I confronted him about what I saw, he showed me what he really was. I was barely able to even scratch him.
That's enough, Harry. I understand. Metal.
Wasn't exactly the most
Gillian,
sensitive read.
I'm sorry.
Harry, you'll be okay. Doesn't look like you're hurting too bad. This'll work out perfect. You always were working too hard anyway. Why don't you take a nice long vacation somewhere and rest up?
Yeah, sure. Nice try, Gillian, but it's my body. I know I ain't gonna make it. You were a good kid, Gillian.
Harry!
I don't know how to say this right, but I've always had a special feeling about you.
Oh.
I've always had trouble talking to people since I was little.
Wait, haven't we been working for like 3 days?
I can remember of them.
Pulse and blood pressure falling.
Harry, hang in there. You and I were gonna go out and tie one on, remember?
Yeah.
We were?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. You, me, and Jean, the three of us.
But John is...
Metal, quiet!
Gillian, I've lived my life alone. I didn't know my parents or family. Always so stubborn, glued to my research.
Like Psycho Mantis's death scene.
Never really trusted anybody. That was a mistake.
Blood pressure continuing to fall.
Harry?
After Jean...
Oh, he's still not done.
I felt it. Human warmth. Companionship.
I know what you mean.
Gillian, I just wanted to get along with everybody. I don't need no Nobel Prize. For 50 years, I've been searching, trying to find something I lost. Looks like I'll never find it now.
Gillian, he's about...
Looks like I've been talking too much. It's up to you now, Gillian. I'm finished. You won't forget this, old grouch, will you?
Harry!
Gillian, you've got to believe in yourself. You're the last junker.
The last junker.
Harry! Harry!
Pulse 0. Pupils are dilated.
Cunningham! No! Snatcher! I'll get you for this!
We have no time for grieving. That Snatcher is still hiding somewhere here in headquarters.
Metal, listen to me. If that Snatcher gets me, you've got to take Mika and run. Then you've got to blow up Junker headquarters. Blow it sky high. Understand me?
Yes, sir. I just hope it doesn't come to that. So, where should we start our search?
I'm getting the chills, but it's so cheesy and bad. Okay. shooting range, compute. I can't save, quick save right now. Yeah, in terms of like the writing quality, it's not there. I do not remember having the kind of relationship with that character that would have warranted that kind of scene. But in terms of like softening up the player, just turning your brain into mush by slapping you with all these conflicting emotions at a speed that really gets the line graph of your brain's tension zigzagging up and down to opposite extremes. Holy shit, it's a Kojima game. This is awesome. So much story stuff is happening, and it's all fitting a very intuitive lineup of archetypes. I really felt something there. I felt a lot of good chills there. Bro is dying and Robo is like, yep, he's dying. Yeah, there's something about laughing in the middle of a super duper tragic Kojima tearjerker scene that seems to help it instead of hurting it. Like laughing at the president's voice at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3. I am just utterly feeling the presence of an incredibly socially awkward Japanese guy who won't shut up about whatever his special interest is at the moment, and who has a really weird time understanding how people talk and relate to one another. Nevertheless, having a very profound understanding of how people tell stories and use them to give meaning to their downtime throughout their lives. Okay, let's start from the top down. Trust Kojimbo, he had sauce even back then. Yeah, no, it's so nice because you can see that, like, this is not Kojima at his full potential. In fact, this is Kojima in a pretty, like, kind of amateurish and rocky place compared to his full potential. But the sauce is still there and it's really impressive. After this, we get Metal Gear 2, and I consider that Kojima at his full potential. That is Kojima maximizing what you could do with the technology and in the genre of game he was making at the time. Why is he asking us if we're ready? Okie dokie. Can we save now? Yes. Alright, I do at least have a feeling that the conclusion of an act is coming up, and I want to have the save slots correlate with the acts in case I want to replay this later. I might call the stream early if I do get to that before 11:30. Yeah. So we've done everything here, let's go to the next one. Didn't he get locked in a room somewhere? Mika said he got locked in a room, and I'm trying to remember what room she said. So you kind of get the feeling of checking one place after another, of rifling through cabinets when you're rifling through these menus. Yeah, no, like Kojima games have an understanding of some of the more abstract and subtle associations players have with the controller they're using. Rifling through those menus, and those menus being associated with like under shelf, in locker, under desk, kind of sort of felt like checking one place after another in a first-person game would have, where you're more intimately connected with the action being depicted. I hope he's not trapped in there. Very methodical. You can quickly take a peek at all the text before moving to the next one. Don't gotta think about it too hard. Hallway. Let's go through all the rooms one more time. I think I saw a bit of movement. Yeah. Throwing. Bum bum bum. Okay, here we go. Now we gotta go down the whole list of motions to find the one that is like, I am very clearly aware that eventually we're gonna follow the blood and see a shocker on the ceiling. Look. Okay. Investigate. Okay. Search. There we go. There it is. Okay. Why didn't he do that the first time? Why was that his plan?
Distance to motion readings increasing.
Is he trying to run?
Motion readings have vanished.
You got past me this time, Snatcher.
Headquarters emergency lighting has been activated.
Can we find him again?
We should go after him immediately.
We'll find him. We know he's somewhere inside headquarters.
The Snatcher has been wounded. We should look for traces of blood.
Look. For traces of blood. Which way did he go? Yeah. Ooh. Guess we'll just go down the list now. Blood? Bloodstain.
The main door has been opened. Did Mika open it?
Wait, Mika's not in the pod.
I hope she has like a little slide
The lighting
under
has
her
been
chair.
disconnected.
Don't move, Seed.
I want her to like press a button, activate the shield, and then a hole in the floor open up that she escapes through.
I read motion. He is definitely in here.
Where are you? Show yourself.
Oh god.
Right here. I don't need to run or hide from you. Mika!
No, Gillian, don't move. It's a trap.
A hostage? You cowardly scum! Mika!
Just had those chains ready.
I don't know. I was really scared. I mean, the emergency light's coming on so suddenly.
I don't know, I mean...
Go ahead and shoot. But you'd better be a pretty good shot, or this kid goes home in a bag.
There's only 9 choices on the screen it'll hit.
Don't worry about me.
It's fine, I just have to press like 2
What are you
buttons.
going to do?
I have you now, Junker.
The Snatcher's functions have been terminated.
Mika, are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Harry? I got him. Random? Sorry it took so long, but this ought to make us even.
Junker? You may have stopped me, but it's not over yet.
Gillian.
It looks like one of the ghouls from They Live.
Its power levels are dropping rapidly.
Crane's hospital was nothing more than a maintenance facility. We have comrades operating throughout the city.
Comrades.
You can imagine. Now our plans will move into phase 2. For that we will enlist the help of Professor Lorraine. Your existence is meaningless as long as you don't get your memory back.
My memory? Comrades? Professor Lorraine?
Harry. Why? Please tell me. Why do so many good people have to die?
Mika.
This is all wrong.
Mika, don't worry. I won't let anybody else die. I've made a promise to Harry and Random. But the city is still full of Snatchers. This fight is just beginning.
Gillian, I have an urgent video call from Jamie. I'll connect you.
Press the select button.
Gillian, I've got my memory back. I remember everything.
Your memory? So what about us, Jamie? Who are we?
Gillian, it's terrible.
Yes!
Done.
Say it! Say it!
I can't tell you something like this over the video phone. I would have been better off never remembering.
Okay, Jamie, calm down. I'll head out right now. Where are you? Is it snowing?
I'm sorry, Gillian.
Ah!
I can't tell you.
I can't put the game down!
Our boy?
There's a fucking plot twist every 5 minutes now!
Jamie, what are you talking about?
I'm so sorry.
Snatcher!
Gillian!
We have Professor Lorraine. We only require her cooperation for a short period.
Okay.
At the Kremlin. I suggest you avoid doing anything foolish, Professor Seed.
Wait, so they were Mr. and Mrs. Dr. Snatcher? Act 2 end. Okay. I'm actually kind of grateful for this because I gotta do an hour of reading work. Yeah, this is great. This is a great stopping point. We're gonna save onto file 2. I'm gonna pee. We'll have a family discussion about what we've learned so far tonight. This is awesome. I'll be right back. I mean, it's clearly not the best. Once again, I don't know if it's my favorite Kojima game, but boy oh boy am I enjoying myself. Be right back. If I take a minute to think about how many plot twists just happened in how short of a time span, I can't help but throw my head back and laugh. No, let's not continue with the investigation. Let's press F to toggle full screen. And make a save state just in case I load that save and they skip a cutscene. We'll watch it next week. Save state, slot 1. Save state in slot 2. Save state in slot 3, just in case I don't want to screw this up next time. Continuing on with the investigation. Okay. Now the very first frame we should see when we read this week is going to be what?
With the start of this year's Kyoto Summit just 3 hours away, the
Act 3 junk. Also, you know what I just realized? This is the Kojima-ism again. Very, very clear acts with long break transitions between them. The ideal cliffhanger. Also, another thing is, yeah, I did feel a kind of ending climax to that whole segment. It ended with, like, the hero and a pretty girl looking at a city, and he said, there's still so much more work I have to do, and it would have been pretty unsatisfying to end the game there. Because, yeah, okay, so wife is kidnapped. There's been multiple damsel in distress babe characters we've had to be rescuing. But yeah, what did everyone in Twitch chat have to say? This is fun. This part. Pull to the Snatcher hallway. Harry locked the HQ doors, so just anywhere in here. Oh, so that's what that meant. One of the things that Kojima really wanted kept in the MSX games re-releases is the key cards. He really wants you to desperately check every key card on a door if you didn't write it down or remember it. I guess that's good because I did end up writing it down or remember. The best part is all of the menus in the visual aid get your brain picturing Gillian and Metal Gear doing the actions. Yeah, and the actions that you visualize in your brain are gonna maybe actually complete the picture better than if they bothered showing it on the screen, right? Yeah, all these Kojima games, the ambition is just so. It feels weird that this game was probably had way smaller of a budget than it feels like in scale and scope. I mean, it really makes you think like there's this huge, busy city with all sorts of different adventures going on when there's really maybe 8 different JPEGs of pixel art that's tying the illusion of this reality down together. And the other thing that I think is kind of weak, though, about the way that the climax and the actions are developing here is that they do seem there's filler. There's video game filler combat. It doesn't often feel like that in a Metal Gear where the narrative is so dense, compressed, and they make sure that every single room in the Metal Gear game matters to some extent. That the insectoids attacking you in the vent, that was totally filler. They seemed to come and go. The characters didn't really care that much. I think that was the second encounter with insectoids in the whole entire game, and the lore kind of forgets about them when they're not convenient, and remembered them in 2 instances where I did not like that gunfight with the insectoids in the vent. Um, I feel like saying I did not like is putting way too much value on my opinion of it. Doesn't matter. It's not whether or not I didn't like that is less important than whether or not it's evidence that that Kojima's game design chops are still growing. They're still he's trying to make a dialogue driven visual novel style. I think I get it now. I know why some in the games press would use that to describe this. He's not doing for the visual novel genre what Metal Gear Solid 5 did to the stealth game genre, which is make a stunning example of that genre being so ridiculously honed in on what it's trying to achieve that it kills the genre because there's nothing left to do there. Yeah, this isn't exactly the I don't know, the Telltale's Walking Dead of visual novels. It's really fast-paced and kinetic and alive compared to visual novels, though. For static art on a screen without a lot of moving parts, it does fool your brain into thinking there's a lot more going on in the scene than picking the right option on a menu dialogue. Kojima was going full Shenmue with Snatcher. He wanted 6 acts but got 2. The ambition is on point. I like this last bit a lot because it's more story heavy, which I think is the game's strength. I like how the gunfights are often used for trick gameplay, shooting in the mirror, the hostage standoff. Yeah. Remember how, like, you kind of have to shoot at the hands of Mika because the crosshair is pointed at the one little pixel directly underneath her hand where the villain is? That fooled me in an interesting way. The insectoids, it was breaking a rule of making the gunfights interesting. A point and clicking on bad guys is a little more complicated in this game unless it's that one particular encounter with the insectoids in the vents. Trick gameplay, shooting in the mirror, the hostage standoff. It's very limited, but the game is wringing every possible scenario he can out of it. He made a noise when you shot her in the hand. I think it was bad. No, it was good. He has an invisible HP cage if you I think I did make one mistake shot, but you do want to hit the villain on the left and right side of the scene, even though her hands are in the left and right scene, because the exact little dot on the crosshair was on the villain, not her hands. So that I was thinking in the back of my head, like, oh, how could I miss? There's only 9 big fat squares on the screen that you can like instantly pick within 3 frames, but it did. It got tricky. It got a little interesting with that stuff. Snatcher's neat. This is neat. I would like to play it at a faster pace, though. Definitely not the ideal way to like skip every week. This act stuff is Metal Gear Solid 5 stuff, where I feel like you're 4, where you're supposed to play 1 act per day. It feels like. Kind of ruminate on how complicated all those plot twists were for the day before getting hit by another one in the next day, or else you might get too overwhelmed too fast. Some week in my life, I would like to play Metal Gear Solid 4 that way. Some other week in my life, before I die, I think I might want to play through Snatcher that way. Now that you know the solutions to the puzzles, you can get through these real fast without, while still forgetting some of the bigger details that would make the story hit hard again. Will we ever get an MGS4 remake? We don't need an MGS4 remake. We're probably going to get a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, and that's not what I think they should do. I think they should do these MSX games. Kojima. Not as highly developed. I think they should do Metal Gear 1 or 2. I would love it if they did 2. But I thought the logical solution would have been for them to do Metal Gear 1, but I think they're going to do Solid 1. Sounds ghoulish. That's like turning my grandpa, for whom living is pain, into a cyborg. That sucker is stuck on PS3. I think we might get a re-release of Metal Gear Solid 4. before we get a remake. I think we are due for a re-release of Metal Gear Solid 4 with the Volume 2 collection. I don't think it's been officially announced, but I think they spotted key art of it in some official Kojima release. I hope I didn't say the wrong thing, but if I did, it won't be the biggest deal. Prematurely announcing Metal Gear Solid 4 port and the collection Volume 2. I think it's very likely. I don't think I've seen an official announcement. I think I saw some unofficial tease. I hope I'm not wrong about that. In any case, Snatcher's neat. But I feel like the weakest points are what I keep having my mind fall back to. So one thing to keep in mind is that in 1988 to 1994, there would have been a kind of novelty to just playing any video game at all that looked like a famous movie, in this case Blade Runner. There are some negative aspects of the story that deserve to be criticized that audiences would have given a pass for decades just by sheer virtue of a Blade Runner style computer adventure game existing, which is pretty funny because they made a good Blade Runner adventure game in the early 90s. I think that actually might have been one of the LucasArts Moon Logic ones. But yeah, being able to engage with a cyberpunk Blade Runner fantasy in a different medium, in a different style, from a different cultural perspective from Japan, would have been the kind of novelty it's not anymore. And when some of the stupider plot twists happen that seem like they're from a completely different genre, when the villain, who looks like a xenophobic Fu Manchu evil Chinese saboteur, who shows up with like ancient Russian instructions from the Cold War, that didn't feel very Blade Runner. Blade Runner is usually a little more subtle and restrained and mature than that. But audiences for 30 years wouldn't have even noticed. It's an amazing human phenomenon how that works. They probably would have felt that Blade Runner was being properly homaged and respected in video game form the whole time. The Westwood one pixel graphics felt really OG Manchurian Candidate. All right, I'm gonna head out. I got a book to read and some notes to take. I want to keep cracking away at that for about an hour and a half. I was actually hoping that we'd call the stream early tonight. It feels good to call it early on a very appropriate point where the game almost seems to kind of want me to call it early. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. That was a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun discovering Snatcher. This is a damn good, silly game. I think I will find this more memorable than some modern games. Have a great night, everyone. Goodbye.